Good morning, this is Granny B. Someone said about, are you a good subscriber? And in their comments they said, I want people to introduce themselves every time and tell where they're from. He said, because their situation may be totally different from mine. So, and he has a bad memory and can't remember everybody. So I'm Granny B, and this is the Fort Smith, Arkansas area. It's a 7B on the scale. We're on my back porch today because I just want to show you what I've got going, and I need to complain about some difficulties I've been having this year. I wanted to show you my onions here, and I took some tips from YouTube readers, YouTube commenters, and they said to replant your lettuce butts. So here's a lettuce that I've got growing. Here's another lettuce that I've got growing just from the scraps of my lettuce. And I want you to looky here. I planted some onions in this little thing, and I've got comfrey growing. I've just got comfrey everywhere. I've planted more marigolds. I have marigolds out in the garden, and I took the seed heads off, but so far they haven't come up. And Albany Acres gave me some Cherokee squash seeds. I planted 3 and 2 of them are up just since yesterday. And this is birdhouse gourd, and it looks like I'm just about to get something coming up there, but I don't have anything else here. Here I've got 3 lavenders, 3 honeydews, 3 butternuts. Oh, I see a butternut trying to peek through. 3 zucchinis and 3 morning glories. We want to put morning glories on our duck pen. I've got to brag on my darling again. Look what he did for me. I got its maiden voyage yesterday. It's a clothesline that I can stand right here on the porch, hang my clothes, and put them out for the sunshine. Isn't that nice? He's so good to me. Here's something that I do. We bought a mint plant because we'd been having mice out there with our car. And we know that mint will keep mice away. So I took that one mint that I bought and I broke it into pieces and replanted it. And I just sometimes I made a planter out of leftover chicken wire, so he can just plant this whole thing by the carport, and then it'll be protected against the weed eater. I got some curry plants here. So we're going to go down and I'm going to show you some more things that my darling has done for me. In my attitude of gratitude video, I talked about how my darling had dug up a poke root for me. And I showed it. It was a big old root that had a little spike or 2 on it, and he transplanted it for me right here, and it's beginning to do real well. And then we did find a poke on our property. I'm sorry if there's a lot of wind noise, but he brought it and transplanted it for me too, so it's doing real well. We're going to go out to the duck pen now. I guess a lot of you know that we've been having a lot of rain here in Arkansas, as everywhere else in the United States right now. We have had so much rain, we can't get out here and mow. I'm not complaining about the water, because I know most of the time we're praying for rain. I've got an eggplant and some cucumbers. My tomatillo, look how full that tomatillo is with blooms. Sage is growing well. This is nasturtium, and this is scallop squash. Here I've got spaghetti squash, 3 spaghetti squash, and the little shawado radish. I don't know, they call it a fruit radish. So anyway, I've got those. They're not doing very well. I planted them directly. Another comfrey. This is how we've been trying to build our garden this year. I've never done a raised bed, and quite frankly I'm disappointed, and you'll see why later. But we put dead limbs, used lumber, cardboard, and put it in the bottom, and then we filled it up with straw, and then we put potting soil over the top. But I'm just not happy with the way things are growing. Over here, that's pure potting soil, and I've got 3 buckets of the Bradley atomic grapes. I'm hoping those come up pretty soon. If not, I'm gonna start all over and plant some more, because I was really excited about getting them. In one of our videos, I showed you the chicken tractor that we brought from our property in Cameron, and so that was our chicken tractor, and I had big plans of changing it into a greenhouse and a chicken pen and for our quail. So I'll come and show you our progress there. We were at an auction one time, and we got 4 rolls of this for $20. Nobody else was interested in it, so there were a few people interested, and so it didn't go very high, and we were thrilled to get 4 whole rolls of it for $20. That's a bargain. Anyway, once we got the 4 ducks, we do want more, but they're afraid of us, and they run. I'd only had Muscovy ducks before, and they were like little pets. And they would come up to me and wag their tail and hiss at me, a nice hiss. They'd go, and they just looked like they were saying, "Oh, Mom, we're so glad to see you again." But these little ducks, they're runner ducks, and boy, they run her away from me. I had told you that I wanted to divide it off and have this part just greenhouse, because I don't do a lot of potting seed to start with. I like to plant everything out, but next year I've learned my lesson. I'm going to do more seeds next time. And so here's my greenhouse, and we got it fenced off so the chickens couldn't get into it. And then this part over here we fenced off for the chickens and the ducks. And it's time to clean it out again, but you know where this is going to go. It's going to go right into the compost. And then here's our pens for the quail. We still don't have them yet. I wanted to keep some straw in here and the food where it's accessible and not out in the wind and rain. I told you we had lots of comfrey. Look at that beautiful plant. We've got Egyptian walking onions. Those are going to go in the food forest. And then just green onions. More comfrey. Look at that. Comfrey. Comfrey. And I am so proud of this. Stringfield Farms sent me 2 elderberry plants. And they are doing great. One of them is really dominant, but the other one is thriving too, so I'm gonna, as soon as I can, those will get transplanted. I get these windshield things when we're at a garage sale and they have them on for 50 cents. I get them, and boy, they have come in handy because it's hot in this greenhouse. And we do have some cross ventilation, but it's not quite what we want. Got room here for storage, supplies, whatever. Okay, so that's the tour of the greenhouse and the duck pen. Oh, show them the little tunnel, darling.
Oh.
So the way the ducks get in and out from here to there is a little tunnel, and they took right to it. They're smart fellas, except they run from us. My husband built this for me, and he did a great job. He had never done anything like this before, but we measured it the other day, and it's about 17 feet long by 12, was it 12?
12.
12 wide, so that gives them quite a bit of running space. Here we have more comfrey. It's just growing like wild, but that's what comfrey does, and I'm happy because it's so good for the animals to eat. It's so good to put in your compost. We planted some sweet potatoes, but they're not looking good. I've never had sweet potatoes with these ugly leaves. These ought to already be growing out of this bed by now. They've been here for over a month. I I'm halfway happy with the Roma tomatoes. I'm getting some tomatoes. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That one's a good size. 7, and they're just full of blooms. But the jalapeno peppers are turning yellow. They look like they're stunted. They ought to be as big as the tomatoes by now. I planted them the same day. Here's red bell peppers. They're doing a little better. They've got blooms ready to pop out any day now. But this is my real disappointment. This is Colorado collards. I planted these March 1st. This is May 21st. They sprouted in time, but this is all the growth I've had in 2 months now. And I've never had anything like this. Strawberries are doing all right. Another disappointment. My red beets, planted March 1st. I should at least be getting beet greens by now, but that's all I've got. And my favorite, the golden beets, this was full of little sprouts. Planted March 1st, but they're all gone. That's as big as my golden beets are. I planted peas here, and look at the dead peas. Everywhere, dead peas. Here's one that tried to live. Oh, and there's 2 little peas on it, but it's drying up from the root. This is premier kale. It sprouted well, but planted March 1st, and that's all the growth I have. I should be putting kale in the freezer by now. If anybody knows what's going on, I'd appreciate it. This is another variety of pea, and it too is they're just dying. You can't even, I don't even see the peas that were here. One looks pretty good, but I'm just going to dig this up and do something different. I don't know what to do. Florida broadleaf mustard, planted March 1st. The asparagus is doing okay. Of course, this is its first year, so I don't expect anything here. Okay, here's more hog damage, so you can see what they've been doing. Tornado that came through the Cameron, Oklahoma, where our other property is, several limbs had broken down. And so Bruce went over there and picked them up, and he was just going to haul them to the landfill. And I said, oh, no, you bring those limbs over here, because we had this fallen tree back here that's where I want to start a food forest. In looking at all the hog damage and where we're going to put those tree limbs, look what else I found. 3 pokes growing up right there, and those are beautiful. I'm just going to pick the leaves off of that and let the stems keep growing. And it is rotting. And here's the tree that they cut that part from, and of course it's all rotting. So if we can cut this tree down and lay it that way, and with that one laying that way, we can do lots of stuff right in here, and we do get good sun. And so I'm gonna try to do a hugelkultur food forest out here. So, oh, I just spotted some more poke. That's either 3 pokes or 1 big root. But we're going to let him grow too. So I do have poke here, and I'll have enough to put in the freezer. But so that's my tour for today, my update. I've got a few pluses, but I've got a whole bunch of downers. So if anybody can help me and tell me what I'm doing wrong with the garden, I'd appreciate it. I wish I had just done straw bales, pure straw bales to start with, it would have been a lot less expensive than the straw bale filler with potting soil on top. So you live and learn. And that's my story for today. Hope you liked it. Bye bye till next time.